Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, depending on where you are joining us from. You are welcome to our information session on the International HR Certification Programs, which are offered by the HR Certification Center. And I want to know who is joining us this evening, or morning, or afternoon, depending on where you're joining from. You could just drop a comment in the comment section and let's know who we are communicating with today. We are actually live on 3 platforms simultaneously. We are on Facebook, we are on LinkedIn, and we are on YouTube shooting live. And we are very glad to have you joining us on this session. I am Kwabena Nyameche Dapa, and I head the marketing team at the HR Certification Center, and I'll be joined with my boss. She is Pearl P. Tehoda, and she is the executive director at the HR Certification Center. We'll be glad to know who is joining us here, and as we go through the discussions, I would welcome Pearl in to also have um, a conversation with you, our online audience. So let's know who is joining us. Let's know who is joining us live from Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube. You can just type your name and let us know where you're joining from. Probably you could type I'm Kojo joining from maybe the Ashanti region. You can write I'm Kojo V joining from the Volta region, or I'm Tanko joining from the northern region. So let's know who is joining us today in the comment section. We want this to be as interactive as possible because we really want to have a conversation with you about how you could make good of your career. Sometimes when people hear HR certification, they think it's something just for HR. So they quickly tune in and tune off. But I want you to know that this program is not just for HR practitioners. It's also for anyone who is working in the corporate space. And you would find out more as we delve deeper into the issues pertaining to the certification program offered by the HR Certification Center. It's been said that engaging the hearts, the minds, and the hands of talent is the most sustainable source of competitive advantage. And I believe that so much because in today's VUCA world, which I know you have heard over and over again, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous space of business, managing talents or keeping people engaged goes beyond just total rewards or salaries. There's a lot that comes with it. And I believe that at the heart of it, every manager or every professional has to manage people, and relegating that role to HR professionals alone, I believe will put the company at risk because it's not only HR practitioners who work with people. All the managers, all the professionals, all the workers in your business work with people. So when you tend to relegate this to only HR practitioners, then you are doing yourself a disservice. If you are joining here and you are a business owner or you do anything aside HR, don't tune off. You're going to learn or understand why it's important for you to invest in managing or invest in knowing how to manage people and manage them well in today's kind of business. People run the business, talents run the business, systems don't. Systems are put in place and they are run by people. So we are going to talk to you about 3 certification programs that we offer at the HR Certification Center: the Associate Professional in Human Resources, the Professional in Human Resources, and the Senior Professional in Human Resources. Definitely, I'm sure you would have questions, even from how I started. Probably you agree, or you don't probably even agree with what I'm saying. That's fine. I'm sure you would have questions. So I'm putting out this number 0244 122 855. I'll take it again: 0244 122 855. This is supposed to be a 1 hour engagement. Probably we are not able to answer all your questions within this 1 hour. So you could just send your questions through this WhatsApp portal so that if we are unable to answer your questions here on this live session, we can certainly get in touch with you beyond LinkedIn or beyond this session. Now, these three certification programs that I mentioned, the Associate Professional in Human Resources International, the Professional in Human Resources International, and the Senior Professional in Human Resources International, are globally recognized certification from the Human Resource Certification Institute, headquartered in Virginia, USA. Now, HRCI over 50 years now, right, has been offering certification to corporate workers, HR practitioners, and anyone who's interested in taking the exams and becoming certified. They have been doing this for the past 50 years, and this should stand to reason that they are masters in the game, and they provide relevant content that will help you to provide contemporary solutions to the kind of problems that you are facing today or in the future in the businesses that you support. We are recognized in 125 plus countries. So if you want to know more about the certification body, you can visit their website, www.hrci.org. And when you visit their website, you know that we, the HR Certification Center, are the approved providers in Ghana. And that's our approved provider number for the year 2024. And we have actually been doing this certification program in Ghana for the past 14 years. And we have trained a number of professionals from very reputable companies across various industries, which I'll be telling you more about as we move on. Now, you'll probably be asking yourself, as an HR practitioner or as a business person, why is it necessary for me to gain professional certification? I must say that professional certifications across all professions have become very, very relevant. But let me hasten to add that even though I am a marketing practitioner and also certified with CIM UK, Chartered Institute of Marketing UK, I tend to be a bit biased when I'm talking about human resource practice, because not everyone can be doing marketing, not everyone can be doing the account, but as long as you interface with people, you should be good at managing people. As I said, if you want to keep people engaged, if you want to keep your business running, the most sustainable way of doing this is to engage the heart of the talent, to engage the minds and the hands. And if you are not on top of these issues, you tend to put your business at risk. So, more to it, having this certification is a demonstration of mastery and commitment to professional ethics and standard. When you are committed to a professional body, right, you are held to higher standards, because flouting certain rules might mean your certification being revoked, and that is going to taint your professional career. So when people are part of professional certification bodies, they commit to higher standards and they commit to higher professional ethics as well. Now, gaining professional certification gives you that technical expertise to respond to key issues. Issues have changed over the years, and the proliferation of AI tools, the coming up of technology, automation, and all these things, and the sophistication of humans because of their abundance of knowledge, really brought to the fore a lot of issues in managing people. And gaining professional certification gives you that technical expertise. You do not act on impulse or emotions, but you act on scientifically proven methods, which is what we call the technical expertise to managing issues. Also, it gives you that cross-cultural competence for international assignments. This certification is an internationally recognized certification. As I mentioned, we are recognized in over 125 countries. And gaining this certification means that you are able to work not only in your home country, but in countries outside your home country, meaning that you have gained cross-cultural competence to manage HR assignments and even beyond. Now I'll be drawing the curtains on my presentation, and then I'll hand over to our executive director, Pearl Peter Holder, who will be giving us more details on this certification program. I mentioned we have three certification programs: the Associate Professional in Human Resources, the Professional in Human Resources, and the Senior Professional in Human Resources. Now, I'm going to touch on the Associate Professional in Human Resources. For this certification, you do not need a degree, neither do you need any work experience, right? So, for people who are probably in tertiary institutions, and let me hasten to add that today's workspace has become very, very competitive than we knew it. And if you are coming out of the tertiary institution and you do not have certain qualities backing your degree, it might be difficult for you to get that kind of job that you prefer. So going through the associate professional in human resources is going to help you um, back your certification with something valuable. That is the associate professional in human resources international. Now you'll be taking 6 modules within 4 months. One of the models you'll be taking is HR operations. Then you look at recruitment and selection. You look at compensation and benefits. You look at human resource development and retention. You look at employee relations, health and safety. You look at the labor laws of Ghana and the ILO regulations. You'll be doing these 6 modules within 4 months. Probably you are saying that I have gone through this in my undergrad level. I mean, I'm actually doing it now. But you would agree with me that when you entered junior high school, or if you did junior secondary school, you probably do social studies, mathematics, English in all the 3 classes. That's JHS 1, 2, and 3. But you agree with me that the level of intensity graduates from one class to the other. So it is with these particular courses. What you're doing in undergrad is great, but when you come out, you are going to have more experiential knowledge. Our facilitators are people who are on the field practicing, and they have been doing, we have an average years of experience to be around 50 years. So we'll be bringing all their years of experience to the fore and giving you practical knowledge on how to handle these issues. So you'll be doing this in 6 months. You'll be doing this in 4 months. That's 6 modules in 4 months. So at this point, I'll invite in our executive director, Pearl Peter Holder, to take us through the next set of slides about the certification program. So, hi, madam. You are welcome.
Right, Kwabena, thank you so much. Let me say
Great.
good afternoon. Am I audible enough?
You are more than audible.
All right, great. So let me say good afternoon, good morning, good evening to our audience, depending on where you're joining from. I am very much aware that we are streaming live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Kwabena, is that
Yes.
right? So I
Yes,
am
you're
sure
right.
that we have much more than just Ghanaians listening to us. So it's appropriate that
Mm,
we accord them that courtesy by greeting them either good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where they are. So, Kwabena, as you rightly mentioned, the business landscape, it's becoming increasingly competitive. The
mm,
consumer is becoming much, much aware than in the past. And so, for businesses that are operating in our current dispensation, understand that you need to do much more to be able to make some profit. Let me say that.
mm,
Even for NGOs, as in non-profit organizations, you still have to do much more. And what does it take to do much more? It takes the talent. Now, there is an advocacy from the HR Certification Center that seeks to suggest that people, for that matter, the human resource, is the greatest asset of every organization. And I always say that these are not just mere words, but we want every business leader to understand that your people are the greatest asset of your organization. And there is a way you manage them. Kwabena spoke about the fact that you need to touch the heart, the hand, and then the heart. Kwabena, is that your assertion?
You are right.
Good. So for me, I will just liken these three things to certain dimensions of the things we teach at the HR Certification Center. So for you to touch a hand, we are talking about building skills for your talent. The hand indirectly refers to the skills that your talent must have in order that they deliver on product promises to the customer. The heart is referring to emotions. These days, we've moved away from hardcore management to leading the talent. And so, in as much as you want to build the skills, you must also touch people's emotions. Whilst they give you their 8 to 5, you must ensure that they are emotionally stable, emotionally comfortable to work with you. And they are not just working with you, because whatever emotions you pass on to them, they pass the same to the customer. And if we are talking about profit, which must come from the customer, then you must ensure that your people have the right emotional framework to be able to reach out to the customer. The last aspect of Kwabena's assertion is the head, which I call creativity. In our textbooks, in our primary textbooks in the past, you hear that the head is used to carry loads. But I must say that the head contains the brain that is used for thinking. And so, if you want to remain competitive in today's business, your people must be skilled enough to be able to create the value. They must be creative enough to overcome the hurdles of today's business. And so, Kwabena, you are right by saying that as business leaders, you must touch the hand, the heart, and the head of your talent. And so this afternoon, or wherever you are, we will be talking, or we will be going deeper into our conversation that Kwabena started by looking at the value of professional certification, and also telling you about the HR Certification Center being the approved provider. Every year, we renew that approved provider, and it's not automatic. The certifying body must be okay with the content you put out there, the module of teaching, or how you teach the people, or how you carry out your teaching. And also, some of your operations must align with the certifying body to give you that approved provider status. And the year 2024, we have renewed that status. So Kwabena started with associate professional by looking at the various modules that you would take. He spoke about the fact that you don't need any degree or any work experience to go through the associate professional in human resources. I would move on to talk about the professional in human resources. Now, there are 3 levels of the certifications currently running at the HR Certification Center. The first one being the associate professional in human resources. The second is the professional in human resources. And the third is the senior professional in human resources. Just as I'm having this conversation, I want our audience to cast their minds to certain things that are trending in our workplaces these days. We want to call them HR trends or business trends. I'm sure how you used to practice HR in the past is not the same way you're practicing HR, or how you used to lead your business is not the same way you're leading the business. We are interested in that conversation. New trends that you've identified in the world of work, not just in the HR field. Feel free to type them in the chat console or in the comment section, and then we would quickly look at it, and we would want to talk about them and how you can overcome, or how you can handle some of these new trends that are coming up in the world of work. Now, let's look at who qualifies to enroll for the professional in human resources. First of all, we need you to know that the professional in human resources is administrative and operational in outlook. Now, if you're here to study the professional in human resource, or you're planning on taking the professional in human resources, you are either handling administrative work or operational tasks in the HR department. And for that matter, you need to provide us with a bachelor's degree or a diploma plus 2 years work experience if you're giving us a degree. With a diploma, you need to give us 4 years work experience. Now, you're wondering if you need to have your degree in HR before you can take the professional in human resources. The answer is no. Any degree at all, either you have a first degree in marketing, a first degree in project management, a first degree in operations management, first degree in accounting, first degree in supply chain and logistics, wherever your first degree is coming from, you qualify to do the professional in human resources. And your years of work experience, either 2 or 4, necessarily must not come from HR experience. Now, once you manage people, once you're responsible for the work outlook of some people in the organization, we term that as people management experience, and that can qualify for you to go through the professional in human resources. Your experience necessarily must not be in HR, but even if it's in HR, you still qualify to do the professional in human resources. Now, for the PHRI, you will be going through 6 modules or 6 topical areas for 6 months. The first module you will go through is business management. Now, why is it important for somebody in the field of HR to know about business management? I started my presentation by saying that the business landscape or the world of work is becoming increasingly competitive. And as HR manager or as an HR officer, you must understand the business that you support. You do not exist just for the HR department. You need to know what your business is into, where the business is going, what is the future of our organization. You need to understand how the business ropes in revenue and then cost of operation, what the consumer would have us do, how technology is changing or is shaping the world of work and all of that. And so you need to go through the first modules, which is on business management. The second module looks at workforce planning and talent acquisition, which we will simply refer to as recruitment and selection. Now, workforce planning will simply look at the number of talents that you need at every given point as a business to operate. So, if we're talking about the year 2024, what are we doing? What is our corporate goal? And for that matter, who do we need to be able to achieve this corporate goal? And so you want to plan your talent, the number of employees you would need at every given point. Now, we talk about talent acquisition. There are various ways of getting people into your business. Is either you are recruiting, you are what we used to call poaching, or you are buying the talent. So somebody will be working with a different organization and you are interested in that particular talent. And so you may want to buy the talent. It comes at different costs, and managing that process is totally different from if you're recruiting the talent yourself. So that is in module number 2, which is workforce planning and talent acquisition. And then we move on to module number 3, which looks at employee development and engagement. Now, with Kwabene's accession, the hand, the heart, and then the head all would be looked at in module number 3, employee development. It is one thing having the people come to work at 8 a.m. and staying in your office up to 5 p.m. and either pretending to be working or they're truly working. How engaged are your people? Do they just come while away the time, waiting for closing time to come? They pick their bags and they go, or they are truly engaged and are motivated to help the business to succeed. Now, if you're looking at employee development, you're looking at how you can train your people for the current job or how you can develop them for future assignments. And if you're an HR manager, you need to understand how to assess your talent. What skills do they need at every given point in time? What skills do they even come into the organization with? What more do they need to know? How do you build them for the tasks that you've assigned to them? How do you even position the right person to the right task? All of that will be looked at in module number 3. And then in module number 4, we talked about total rewards. We will be looking at total rewards, which is compensation and benefit. We are talking about the direct salaries you pay to the people. We would also be looking at the benefits that are mandatory and then the benefits that are non-mandatory. Now, if you're practicing in Ghana or wherever you are, your employment law gives you certain benefits that you must pay to the employee, which we call the mandatory benefit. If you are in Ghana, we are talking about the tier 1 and the tier 2. It is mandatory. You cannot do away with it. And the others that are non-mandatory, you may want to look at medical benefits. You may want to look at professional allowances. When people go and do professional certification, you give them certain allowances, or you give them a rebate of their tuition. And then you may want to look at all other, maybe you want to look at educational leave. Somebody wants to go and do masters. The person would earn a certain number of days, either to go and write exams or to go and study. All of that are non-mandatory, but some organizations will do them because they want to give their people the opportunity to fully engage, be happy to work with the business. All of that will be looked at in module number 4. Also in module number 4, we will be looking at how we can compensate people working with us. If you're in Ghana, people working with you who are Ghanaians, and you also want to look at people who are working with you that are non-Ghanaians, or you engage them on expatriate terms. So all the compensation, how you handle that, will be looked at in module number 4. Then we move on to module number 5, where we look at employee relations and risk management. Now, in that module, we would also be looking at issues of health and safety. Now, for those of us who are working with manufacturing firms, issues of health and safety is big because of the factories that we work in and the health related issues that come up on daily basis. Employee relations will look at how you manage the people. For some of us, we are working in unionized environment, and for others, non-unionized environment. There are different ways you handle these employees or these systems. And so in module number 5, we'll be looking at all of that. And then we move on to module number 6, which is a peculiar module in our certification. If you're practicing in Ghana, you are required to go through the labor laws of Ghana and then the ILO regulation. The reason it's important is because this is an international certification, and the certifying body requires that you understand the employment law of your country. And so if you are in Ghana, you will do the labor laws of Ghana. If you are elsewhere aside Ghana, you are required to know the employment law of your country as module number 6. So we've had persons in the past who took this program from Nigeria, from Liberia, from Cameroon, I think from China, and all of it. Once you are not practicing in Ghana, you are free to do module number 6 from wherever you are practicing, and it will be recognized and used as your module number 6. I mentioned that you're doing these 6 modules in 6 months, and this would end your tuition, after which you would be prepared for the professional examination. And then we move on to the senior professional in human resources. The senior professional looks at the HR practice at a strategic level, And so you are either the HR director, or still the HR manager, but practicing at a very high level. You are possibly the overall person when it comes to issues of HR, and you are equally responsible for the HR policies of your organization. To qualify to do the senior professional in human resources, you need to present us with a master's degree or a bachelor's degree plus 4 years HR experience. And I have taken my time to explain the HR experience. Once you manage people, that could qualify for the HR experience. And for the senior professional, you would also be going through 6 modules in 6 months. 6 modules in 6 months. Your first module looks at leadership and strategy. I'm sure you are wondering if this is truly talking about HR. Yes, you would go through this and qualify as a certified HR professional. Now, because of the changing trends in the world of business, it is important for every HR practitioner to know issues of leadership. Now, the whole discussion or the whole issue around HR boils down to leadership. How do you lead the talent? And I've mentioned in the beginning that we've moved away from hardcore management to people leadership. And so, as an HR practitioner, you need to understand issues of leadership, how to lead self, how to lead the people by influencing them to give off their best to the organization. And you also be looking at issues of strategy. Now, strategy is a very big thing, and strategy is looking at how we get our what as a business. If our aim is to build 10 or roll out 10 branches in the next 5 years, how do we get that? How do we achieve that? That is all about issues of strategy. And strategy is big today as we talk about the world of business. And so every practitioner, every senior HR practitioner must understand leadership and strategy. And then we move on to module number 2, which is on workforce planning and talent acquisition. I spoke about that when I was explaining the professional in human resources. And then we move on to employee development. That looks at training, development, performance management issues. Total rewards is simply compensation and benefit. And I spoke about that also in the professional one. Employee relations and risk management, I spoke about that as well. Labor laws of Ghana and the ILO regulation, that is if you're practicing in Ghana. Otherwise, wherever you're practicing from, you would be required to do the employment law of that country. Now, I'm sure that some of us are asking, why are some of the modules similar? Kwabena used a very simple analogy to explain some of these things. Now, you studied core maths in Form 1, core maths in Form 2, and core maths in Form 3, but the technicalities are totally different. So in Form 1, or let me say in the professional class, you will look at workforce planning and how it relates to operational tasks. At the senior class, you will look at workforce planning and how it relates to strategic HR. So that is the difference. So there are levels of studying some of these things. The topical areas may sound the same, but the mode of delivery and the content areas are totally different. And so for the senior professional, you would be going through these 6 modules in 6 months, just as the professional class. Now, let's look at why it is important for those of us on the call to study from the HR Certification Center. Why is it important, or why is it unique for you to study with the HR Certification Center? As a center, we've taken our time to build the content that we deliver. We've taken our time to look at our operations and how it suits the customer. And so we offer you flexibility in learning. And so for those of us who are busy or we possibly work on Saturdays, You are either studying on the Saturday, which is the in-person class, or you are joining the virtual class, which is on Sundays. Now, these two platforms will give you the same content, the same facilitators, and the same knowledge areas. And so you have an option to either choose the physical learning class or the online option. Now, the beautiful thing about the HR Certification Center is that these two platforms, you have the opportunity to alternate. So you are not stuck to just in person throughout, or you are not just stuck to the online sessions throughout. You can alternate every weekend. You have that two opportunity to choose which of the classes you want to take. Now, the second reason why you should study with the HR Certification Center is our flexible payment option. Now, the tuition fee can be paid in full, in half, or you have the option of paying on monthly basis, because we understand that most of us are monthly salary earners, and so it's comfortable for us to pay on monthly basis. As a center, having operated the center for 14 years, but 10 years in certification, we have a strong alumni network. Over 4,500 participants have gone through our center. And so you have this strong network to mingle with, or these platforms are open to you for continuous learning, sharing of knowledge, and getting to interact with seasoned HR practitioners and business executives. Now, as a center, we also expose you to practical knowledge-based workshops to augment your content areas. So I mentioned 6 different modules for both APHRI, PHRI, and then the SPHRI. These are content areas that are required by the certifying body. Away from that, as a center, we believe that you must not just pass your exam, but whatever knowledge you build from the classroom should help you to practice right. And so we have designed some workshops that will help you to practice right on the job, as well as helping you to um, sit and pass your professional exams. Now, within this 6 months, we would expose you to multiple mock sessions, prep classes, and tutorial sessions. Now, away from the teaching that are instructor led, you would also have time to have self studies, and you take your multiple mocks, go through your prep sessions, as well as the tutorial sessions. Now, one thing we are proud of, and we are okay talking about it, is the fact that we have an exceptional pass rate, an exceptional pass rate. We understand that passing exam is not easy, or writing an exam actually is not easy. And then we have designed some strategies to help our candidates to sit the exam and pass. And so in the past, that is the year 2023, we do our reviews every year. So for the year 2023, the center moved to an 84% pass rate. In the past, it was about 72%, and we increased it, or we jumped to 84% for the year 2023. Now, I spoke about the special workshops that is supposed to help augment your learning. And there are 4 workshops that you would be going through. We have the business finance knowledge for HR professionals. Now, there's that assertion out there. I know it is not true, and I know you will prove me right, that HRs don't like maths, or we don't like figures, or we don't like data. And we always talk our things in qualitative terms. Now, we want you to move away from speaking your language in qualitative terms to quantitative terms. So we expose you to a workshop on business finance knowledge for HR professionals. We also take you through social security and pensions management. How do you train your people, or what skills do you give to your people in order that they are well prepared for their pensions? And as an employer, it is mandatory that you pay your social security for all your employees. Away from that, the facilitators would also expose you to some of the things you can do so that your employees can secure their future. That is the second workshop you will go through. Now, in the third workshop, we will be looking at issues of ethics and integrity management for both the employer and the employee. Now, in your organization, you have different kinds of people coming from different backgrounds with different views and philosophies. And, everybody and their character. How do you manage issues of ethics and integrity as a business leader, as a team lead, as a department head, as an HR manager, or simply as a business executive? And then workshop number 4, we'll be looking at issues of HR analytics and metrics. Is one of the things that is reigning. I think when we moved away, when we came out of COVID, issues of HR analytics and metrics is one of the trends in HR now, that you must be able to measure everything you do. Every activity in HR must be managed. Leave management must be managed. Training programs must be measured, and issues of turnover must be measured. Issues of absenteeism must be measured. Lateness must be measured. Recruitment, the time it takes you to recruit a candidate for a job, must also be measured. So all issues pertaining to analytics and metrics will be looked at in workshop number 4. So away from this workshop, and then we are confident that you are well grounded and you are well skilled to both sit the exam and also to practice on the job. Now, we want you to look at some of the companies. I mentioned that over 4,500 candidates have gone through us to sit for or to study with us for their professional certification. These are just some companies, especially for those who will allow us to use their logos. That is on your screen. We have Talo Oil, EcoBank. We have Olam, Coca-Cola, Ghana Water, MTN is there. GTP is there, Republic Bank is there, Magdan Group of Companies is there, Enterprise Life, Hollad is there, University of Ghana is there, Volta River Authority, Vodafone, Toyota, we have Zoom Lion, GCB Bank, Absa Bank, Ghana Gas, we have Glyco, Lesheho is there. Technically, every relevant organization has gone through us. If your company is not here, it means we are waiting for you to come and study with us. But the interesting thing about the candidates that have passed through us is the fact that we have both the public and the private organization. In as much as this certification is international or is globally recognized, we have not left out the public firms. So firms like the Ghana Water, Electricity Company of Ghana, GCB Bank, and all of that. I mean, they have both gone through the program, and they have sat their certification exams and passed. And so quite a number of the banks have also gone through the certification program. All right. Now let's look at some of our class session, a picture of our class session. Every quarter, the HR Certification Center enrolls a session. So for that matter, 4 times in the year, we are on with our certification program. We have sessions running in March, we have sessions running in June, we have sessions running in September, and the last one is December. So every quarter, there is a session at the HR Certification Center. And we hover around 150 to 180 candidates every session or every cohort. And so this is just one of our classes, very large, I must say. Usually for day 1, which is orientation, we will have a very large class. But away from that, the classes are divided into their various certifications. And so you have smaller classes for the facilitators to engage with them. It is important that we give every candidate special attention because we understand that there are issues in our organizations that need some sort of help or consultancy. And so smaller class units helps us to deal with a lot of the issues. All right. Now let's look at certification exam. We are heading on to the end of the presentation. And if you have questions, the number to send your questions to is 0244 122 855. 0244 122 855. And when the time is right for question and answers, we will read out your question and provide answers to them. And Kwabena mentioned that if we are unable to deal with all the questions in the session, once it's on the WhatsApp chat, we would have the time to respond to all of them for you to be well accustomed or to help you take your decisions on the professional HR certification. Now, away from the tuition that you would go through in 6 months or 4 months if you're doing the APHRI, there is also the certification exam. So we provide tuition as approved providers within the 6-month period, after which you're ready to sit the exam. Now, the international exam or the certification exam is written every day throughout the year, except for Saturdays and Sundays, except for Saturdays and Sundays. And the exam is one-off. One-off means that questions are deduced from all the modules and tested at one sitting. Unlike other professional exams where you write paper by paper, the HR certification or the international HR certification is not like that. So there are multiple choice questions tested in one sitting. And so you have questions drawn from all of the modules at a go. All right, the testing center for Ghana is the Total House. Total House is adjacent CD House around British Council. That is a testing center for the certification exam. Now let's look at the number of questions you will write and the minutes that are allotted to each of them, and also how much you would need to sit the professional exam. If you're studying the Associate Professional in Human Resources, you are required to answer 90 questions in 1 hour, 30 minutes. 1 hour, 30 minutes, and the exam fee is $400. The exam fee is $400. Now, if you're doing the Professional in Human Resources, you are writing a total of 115 questions in 2 hours, 45 minutes, and the fee required is $495. If you're doing the Senior Professional, a total of 140 questions in 3 hours, 15 minutes, and the exam fee is $595. The pass mark required for passing your exam is 72%, 72%. And I mentioned that our pass rate is 84%, all right? Now we have on your screen certified candidates from 2020, 2021, 2022, and currently 2023. So far, we have been able to certify all these persons for 4 years now. And then in 2024, we will compile that also and present to you. Now let's look at registration and fees. Registration and fees, that's tuition fee. Now for the Associate Professional in Human Resources, your tuition fee is $1,050 per month. $1,050 per month, and you're doing 4 months in total. For the Professional in Human Resources, it's $1,400 per month, and you're doing 6 months in total. For the Senior Professional, it's $1,600 per month for 6 months. For 6 months, so $1,050 for APHR per month, $1,400 for PHR per month, and then $1,600 for SPHR per month. And you have that on your screen. Now, once you pay your tuition fee, it covers your tuition, your reading materials, your trial questions, your prep and tutorials, as well as your mock. You don't need to pay for anything apart from your tuition, except when you are ready to write the professional exam, which you would pay the examination fee. Now, our next session, which is our 39th cohort, 39 cohort starts from the 8th of June. 39 cohort starts from the 8th of June 2024, and registration is currently ongoing. All you need to do is to buy a registration voucher of 150 Ghana cedis, a registration voucher for 150 Ghana cedis. Just when you take that decision to go through the professional certification program, all you need to do is to send us a hello or a hi on 0244 122 855. 0244 122 855. And then you make your payment, and then the voucher is shared with you. Now, let's look at how you can register. Very simple steps. Very simple steps on how to register. All you need to do is to buy a registration voucher, as I mentioned, for 150 Ghana cedis using our payment platforms. You can pay via mobile money by using the USSD code, or you can pay through the bank. Once you take that decision, just send us a hello or a hi on the WhatsApp number, and then the steps will be shared with you, and you will be guided on how you can register for the professional program. Now, I mentioned before we go to the question and answers, I mentioned that there are current trends in the business landscape for which every employee or every manager or every leader must be aware of. I just want to mention a few, and then as we end this session, it will give you some work to do, so you are well accustomed with what is happening in the business landscape. First of all, in no particular order, we have remote work. Remote work has become the order of the day, where employees don't want to sit in your offices, your beautiful offices. They don't like it. They want to sit at home. They want to sit at the beach. They want to, go sightseeing, and at the same time be working. How are you positioned as a business or as a manager to handle remote work for the current generation that we have? The second thing that is trending, for which you must be well aware of, is employee well-being. Issues of employee well-being is becoming a great topic. If you haven't accustomed yourself to that, or if you haven't thought about it, it is time for you to start thinking about employee well-being, the people under your care. How well are they, both physically, mentally, and psychologically? How well are they? What sort of health support are you giving to your people? What sort of work-life balance initiatives and wellness programs do you have as a business that your people must benefit from? The third issue you would want to think about is issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's becoming big because the world is becoming global. You need to think about that as a business. Issues of technology integration. How are you running your business? Are you still doing the manual work? Your customers are demanding for products and services in their palm on their smartphones. How are you positioned as a business to do that? Your employees must also make use of technology so they can have work done faster and quicker. So, as a business, you also need to think about technology integration. Let me talk about the last one, and then we can call it a day. Now, let's look at issues of employer branding becoming typically big. And when we are talking about employer branding, we are not just talking about how nice your logo is, how nice your colors are, the beauty in your office or in your office building. We are talking about positioning yourself to attract the right talent. Now, I'm sure if I mention, or if I ask what kind of businesses we want to work with, I'm sure we would hear all the names. If you are not topmost the minds of the talent, then it means there's something wrong. So you must position yourself as a business to brand yourself properly as an employer so that you can attract the right talent. All right. And you must also do that so that you remain competitive in the business landscape or in the job market. I said that was the last one, but let's also look at issues of business sustainability and corporate social responsibilities. I mean, CSR initiatives are also big, and we can actually fuse that under employer branding. If as a business you're not doing anything corporate social responsibility, it is time you start thinking about it, because the talent out there, the customers are watching. Do you just take money from them, or you take money such that you give back to the community or you give back to the society? These are issues that are bothering businesses these days. And so if you're a business leader, you're a business manager, you must begin to think about some of these things and how you can position yourself to support the businesses that you work with, or to advise the businesses that you work with, so they are well positioned to gain that competitive advantage in the business landscape. I think I'm open for question and answers. My colleague Kwabena is also on the call, and we would be able to respond to them. So, Kwabena, if we have some questions, you may want to read them out, and then we can answer them.
Yes. Okay. So let's check if we have any questions coming up. Um. Okay. So please, if you have any questions, just in the comment section. We are available to answer all your questions. And if you want to actually have a conversation with us, you can call the number 024122 As we wait for your questions to come, I have a big announcement to make this evening. So you all know the HR's Work for Life. We've been having it for about some 3 years now. Now the name has been changed to Corporate Work for Life. Corporate Work for Life. I'm going to show it on the screen. Okay, so this year we are partnering with CIMG. CIMG, that is a Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, and we are doing together the Corporate Work for Life. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be better than it was before. We actually have Ghana Canada Medical Center coming on board as well. They are going to be doing some free health screening. So you want to be part of it. The rate is totally free. At the HR Certification Center, we believe that as corporates, if you're not careful, sometimes we live a very sedentary lifestyle and with very minimal movement. So once in a while, we go outside and make some noise, have some fun. And this is one of the seasons that we do that. It's happening on the 1st of May. We are going to climb up the Ayimensa Peduase Ridge with a lot of fun, music, networking. You can mention it. We'll have aerobic dance, we'll have breakfast, we'll have the walk, we'll have the health screening, and we'll also have a talk. The theme for this year is keep moving. So if you want to be part of this, kindly call the number 020-800-7585 or 055-274-69 055-274-6592. So you're going to put out all the information on our various social media platforms so that you can certainly be part of this. All right, so I have one question coming through from YouTube. This is Oparibia Obeng. She's asking, for the final exams, is it only one paper that would be written, please? Yes, Oparibia. So for the final exams is one paper. So for okay, let me see. Okay, I don't have that one. Okay, so for SPHR, you are going to be answering about 114 questions. So all those that have gone through will be all put together, and you answer all the questions in about 3 hours 15 minutes for SPHR, and I think 2 hours 45 minutes for PHR. So that is how it is. You're going to answer all the questions all the models put together in one paper, and you're going to answer it. And it's an objective test, multiple choice. It's a multiple choice examination, right? So,
Right,
Paribia, I
Governor.
hope.
I also have one question here. It says, please,
Okay.
I'm Edmond and I'm part of today's program. If I have 4 years experience in recruitment only and with a bachelor's degree in HR, am I eligible to register for SPHRI? Governor, you may want to answer that.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. So she has a bachelor's degree in.
For a bachelor's degree, 4 years experience in recruitment, that's technically HR. Is he eligible for SPHRI?
No. So for SPHRI, you should have a bachelor's degree, and you should be in a people management role, and you should have done that for about 4 years. So I don't know if that role you have is a people management role. So if it's a people management role, definitely you qualify for the SPHR. If not, then you can do a PHRI. Yeah.
Okay, so let me say that, Edmond, you can continue the conversation with us on the WhatsApp line so that we get to advise you properly. But once you have 4 years experience, we want to understand if you have some people management experience, as Kwabena said, and then we can advise which of the certifications you would do. I think Oparibia is asking, is it only multiple choice questions? Yes.
Yeah.
So for the international HR exam, it is multiple choice questions. And questions are drawn from all the modules and tested at one sitting. So technically, like Kwabena said, you are writing one paper. You don't have to go and come back the next day to come and write another exam. And the beautiful thing is that once you finish your exam, in matter of minutes, you would get to know whether you are successful or not.
Or
Yes.
otherwise. Okay, so thank you very much for investing your time to learn more about the International HR Professional Certifications. Our arms are always open to welcome you, whether you're an HR professional, whether you're a marketer, whether you are surveyor, whatever that you do. We believe that we all play a role in managing people. So our arms are open. Just give us a call, 0244 122 855. Have a conversation with our communication team. We're going to support you to um add some more value to yourself. Quarter 1 of the year is already down. And if you had some New Year resolutions, you should be looking at them. Probably you said this year you're going to get a professional certification, you're going to add some more value to yourself. This is the time. I'm an angel of the Lord speaking to you. Anyway, so madam, any last words? Then we'll draw the
All right,
curtains.
Kwabena, thank you. Let me say a thank you to our audience this afternoon or this morning, this evening. We do not take your 1 hour for granted. It's an honor to have you give us your time, and we are believing that professional certification is one of your goals and you want to ace it this year. And so, as a center, we are always positioned to help you. For those of us who are not engaging with the HR Certification Center on social media, you are missing big time. We're missing out a
Some
lot
of
of
them.
things. We do free webinars on topical issues. We also take our time to talk on business leadership issues. And so please do connect with us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter now, X, and also on Instagram or YouTube. And then you get to enjoy a lot of our free webinars. Follow us, share your experiences with us, share your questions with us. Any challenge at all you have in your business, feel free to share with us. And then we would give you our expertise or expertise knowledge. What is the word, Kwabena? We want to share that technical
Expertise
knowledge with
knowledge.
you. Good.
Yeah.
Right. So that you can practice. We want to help the HR fraternity so that we gain that recognition that we need. And so also to position us to partner with our businesses with the right information and then the right skill. So for those of us who are already certified, and I still see you on the call, you may want to engage with us on our executive short courses to build your competency levels for future assignment. We thank you for your time, and we are open always for to help you or to engage with you. Thank you very much, and do enjoy the rest of your time.
Why do 93% of the world's leading multinational companies prefer certified professionals? Because they tend to be committed to higher standards and ethics and maintain an informed intercultural competency. Whether you're seeking to build a career or to upgrade your HR professional career, you need to get trained and certified at the HR Certification Center today. Our experience in training and certifying HR professionals is unparalleled. We're trusted to offer a comprehensive portfolio of advanced professional credentials for the HR professionals worldwide, and today, more than 500,000 HR professionals worldwide in 125 plus countries proudly maintain our credentials as a mark of higher professional distinction. HR Certification Center. Call or WhatsApp today on 0244 122 855.